debate session today, and the debate is going to be presented by our students. And today's topic is centralization versus federalism. The topic is, should states have greater autonomy over financial resources and governance? I would request the team to come up on the stage. The team A, Federalism team, Vishwak, Pavitra, Srinath, please come to the stage. Vishwak, Pavitra and Srinath, they are going to talk about the benefits of federalism. They are going to be team A. Respected jury members, please note. This is team A presenting here, Vishwak, Pavitra, Srinath. They are going to be in favor of federalism. And then I would request team B to come up on stage. The centralization team, team B, Shruti, Aditya, Aravind. Shruti, Aditya and Aravind. So now the debate begins. First, to talk about federalism and its favors, I would request Pavitra to, Vishwak. From team A for the federalism, Vishwak.
Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you for being here. So, it's me, Vishwak, along with Pavitra and Srinath. We're going to be presenting for the topic of federalism and a strong state autonomy. So, let me begin with a question. So, why federalism, or why in particular quasi-federal structure in India? So, at the time of independence, India was deeply fragmented and it was very fragile. And during that time, we had over 565 princely states, and the nation was not as integrated as it was supposed to be. So in this sense, the nation needed a strong anchor through which the stability and integrity of the nation could be preserved. So at this point, we took and we adopted what we now call as a strong center. So this strong center concept was established in this context. And do we still need the central strong center concept going on even today? India today is more politically consolidated and economically stronger and institutionally matured to allow itself to move towards a more frigid form of federal structure. So I would also like to say that this shift is not going back, but the next stage of our federal structure. So the advantage of having a strong central structure, as in having a coordinated and efficient central governance, is not does not work well in the context of India. So India is a very diverse in culture, religion, ethnic group, as well as language, that we cannot adopt a very strong central concept. So it is in this sense that various courts and various judgments have declared this unconstitutional and against the basic structure, including since the case of S.R. Bowman. And moving to the next issue, I would like to bring the exercise of delimitation, which comes after following the census 2027. So in this case, a lower representation of states which have effectively controlled the population against, in comparison to states which have a huge population, will have a higher representation in the Lok Sabha. So this is going to affect the representation and resource allocation, as well as in terms of policy making. The policy making not only affects the state, nation as a whole, but also the regions in particular. And it is in this sense that there should be a greater state autonomy, so that the states can decide for themselves and also the specific needs of their people. And I would also like to bring about a case study here. So recently in Hindu, I saw a case study which talks about the state of Kerala. So Kerala declared itself fully digitally literate. This means that every person in Kerala can now use their mobile phones to access technology in terms of using or paying through UPI apps or accessing government websites, or even as a regular or a everyday task as paying electricity bills. So this is a significant milestone in terms of social justice. So can this be really adopted centrally and evolved from there? I would like to say a greater state autonomy would give the states their freedom to have the innovation where they create such model states, and that model can then be adopted entirely to the entire central structure. And this is also another reason why states should have a greater autonomy. And I would like to quote Dr. Ambedkar's words that he is of the opinion that India works as a federal constitution in normal conditions, and only in situations of war and concern is when we adopt a unitary function. So the constitution makers were also of the opinion that the states could efficiently function by themselves, and they did not question or doubt if the states had the ability to take care of themselves. And I would like to end this with a quote that federalism is not about states' rights, it's about dividing power to better protect individual rights. And with this in mind, we could promote a greater state autonomy. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishwak, for your argument. And to counter Vishwak, I call upon Shruti from Team B in favor of centralization.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. My name is Shruti. Respected judges, moderator, my fellow participants, and all the audience. India is a vast and diverse country. It has 28 states, 8 union territories, 100 languages, 1,000 culture, and we have 1.4 billion population. With this, we know that India is a very diverse and variety country. And if we see if every hand wants to steer the wheel, the vehicle of India will fall. We can't move forward. So that is why our constitution has given a strong center. Let's look at the governance works better with centralization. How? In the case of COVID-19, states were actually given, they were allowed to have a prosecution in vaccination, but it increased confusion, higher prices, and competition among states. But when it was centralized, India established the world's largest free vaccination drive with equal distribution. Centralization saved lives. Let us look at disaster management. Floods in Odisha, cyclones in Odisha, floods in Kerala, and earthquakes in Gujarat. The operation can be successful. The rescue operation can be successful only because of the center, through NDRF, central funds, and armed forces. Without this, some states can definitely survive, but a lot of states cannot. States like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu can survive the surge, but states like Bihar and Odisha cannot. Let's look at finance. Finance definitely need center oversight. Why? Because before GST, if a truck should travel from Punjab to Assam, they have to travel across 20 checkposts, bundles of papers, and definitely bribes in every borders. But traveling to US and Europe were even more easier than traveling across the country. So GST entered this nightmare. One nation, one tax, and one market. Let's not forget the recent GST reforms of 5% and 18%. This cannot definitely be done if Central had a lot of autonomy over finance, because taking decisions may take months and years. Let's not forget the rise of freebies. Some states announce loan waivers, free electricity, and even cash transfers. Good politics, but terrible economy. Without central fiscal discipline under Finance Commission and FRBM Act, we will risk multiple mini Sri Lankas inside the country. So the crucial operations like Operation Sindhu, tariff war, and the swift closeness with China, even if we have border tensions, these were all done because of a strong central force. If we can't rely on states for having border issues. Let's say federalism without central leadership is like a cricket team, where all 11 players want to be captain. The toss will never happen, the match will never start, and the arguments never end. And thank you, Vishwak, for telling the history of centralization. Of course, history is very important to predict the country, right? In 1947, it was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, central leadership that integrated 560 princely states, avoiding Balkism. In 1971, a strong central decision helped liberate Bangladesh and protect our borders. In 1991, during the economic crisis, the central reforms helped country to pave the way. So should states have greater autonomy over governance and finance? In my case, I would say it is not in the cost of India's unity, stability, and equality. So sisters and brothers, I would like to tell once more that centralization is not about crushing states. It's about fairness in finance, coordination in governance, and strength in crisis. Centralization is not our weakness. It has always been and will remain India's strength. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Shruti, for your valuable argument. And then now I call upon Pavitra from Team A to support federalism.
Power is like water. When you let it flow, it nourishes. When you dam it up, it destroys. And that is federalism for you. You have to let it flow so that it nourishes our country. Good morning, everybody. This is Pavitra standing before you all to speak for federalism. India is a mosaic and not a monochrome wall. We are 28 different economies that are under one flag. We need diverse plans. And as my friend Shruti already mentioned that, India is a diverse country. Kerala on one side is striving for human development, Gujarat for ports and industries, Rajasthan for solar energy, and for this diversity, one size fits all approach cannot do justice. And in India, regarding federalism, fiscal federalism, it acts as a powerful tool that harnesses the strength for all the 28 different economies. If you see fiscal federalism, there are two main aspects. One is the revenue aspect and the other is the expenditure aspect. From the revenue aspect, the states knows their tax base very well, right? So the states can generate stronger revenue because of fiscal federalism. The states are being able to, if we see the example of property tax of urban Maharashtra, liquor excise of Telangana and Tamil Nadu, and also tourism tax of Goa, all these are leading to huge revenue generation. And if we see on the expenditure side, there has been targeted expenditure delivery because of fiscal federalism. If you see, the RBI report of 2023 proves that every 1 rupee given to the state is now transformed to more than 1.3 rupees as capital expenditure. This is how there is a multiplier effect in growth, job and economic development. So that is how true federalism works. It nourishes all the states of the country. And when my friend was speaking about centralization and its quick responses during flood, I would like to mention that there was 2018 Kerala flood and the state requested aid from the center. And there was a huge delay in the central relief fund that it was the state treasury which released 1,000 crore relief fund for the state. That made economic autonomy leading to quicker actions. And that is how federalism in finance helps state to take care of their own issues by themselves. And if you see, the Finance Commission had raised the financial share of states from 32% to 42%, and that has resulted in trickle-down effect of capital expenditure rising to double digits. That is how states are raising. There is competition. The states are competing with each other, but not destructively, but constructively. Each and every state on each and every sector. If you see in energy sector, there's Rajasthan for solar, there's Tamil Nadu for wind, There's Gujarat for hybrid sector. The states are competing with each other, and such healthy competition raises all the bars, right? That is why even Niti Aayog is publishing state health index and export preparedness index to spur competitive federalism. So I would like to tell one thing. When she was speaking about GST, that is where cooperative federalism comes into picture. Through GST Council, the states and center are cooperating with each other. That is how states' voices are also echoed from their point of view. And when she was speaking about huge projects that only center could take up, remember that execution and land acquisition is state subject. And that is where state comes into play, state's power comes into play. It's not about center versus state. It's the center together which makes up the state finally. So I would like to tell that a nation's strength should be dependent on its roots and not trunk. Federalism is the tool which waters the root, and let us all safeguard that tool. We all debate federalism not as fragmentation but as smart integration. Thank you.
Thank you for representing division of power, and now I call upon Aditya from Team B to support centralization.
Respected judges, worthy opponents, and my dear audience, a very fine good afternoon to one and all. I'm Aditya. I'm starting with my point by quoting the famous words of Abraham Lincoln. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Today, this applies perfectly to our debate on centralization versus federalism. Imagine a nation as a ship sailing through stormy water. In times of crisis, do we need 20 captains giving 20 commands, or do we need a single strong captain who steer us with a clarity? This is the essence of centralization. It's all about unity, speed, and strength. Centralization allows more efficient decision making, as decision can be made quickly and uniformly by a single authority. This can be particularly beneficial in times of crisis or when swift action is required. Meanwhile, federalism often involves multiple levels of governance, and decision making can lead delay and inefficiency. A strong center needs a strong officers. That's why centralization ensures vision and action both walk hand in hand. Take taxation and national security. If each region decides independently, coordination becomes a nightmare. Centralization provides a single chain of accountability. Without centralization, our country would be like a WhatsApp group. There might be lot of admins but zero control. The IAS, IPS and IFS are not just services. They are the guiding nation with hand, and centralization empowers them. Federalism fragments authority, dilutes responsibility, and weakens the nation. We are here to become officers and to handle the centralized powers efficiently. And I don't know why these people are sitting against and arguing federalism, a fragmented and uncoordinated power, is better than centralization. And I'm here to argue with Pavitra's words. Pavitra, you're trying to make a sound with only one hand, and nothing happens with raising the sound with single hand. But if I clap with both the hands together, I create a strong, clear sound. Similarly, a nation governed by federal laws alone can't achieve progress. Only when powers is centralized, like two hands clapping together make loud voices, the same thing makes the nation to be great. Federalism talks, but centralization work. I repeat, federalism talks, but centralism works. Centralism is not just a control, it's a compass that ensures the nation never loses its direction. One center is like a Wi-Fi router, connects everyone. Federalism is like a hotspot everywhere, but battery gone, network gone. And with all these reasons, I stand firm before you respected judges to say conviction. Centralism is not just option, it's the path for strong and united nation. Thank you for providing me this wonderful opportunity. Jai Hind.
Thank you for the importance of unity of command. Now I call upon Srinath from Team A to support federalism.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I am Srinath. Economics is all about trade-off, right? So if you want to contain inflation, then you have to sacrifice growth. Likewise, the benefits of being a large country and the benefits of being a small country, that's a trade-off. So what is the benefits of being a large country? The benefits of being a large country is you have a huge economies of scale project you can have, and a vast domestic project, and a greater geopolitical weight. And on the other hand, the benefits of being a small nation is you have a good service delivery system, higher efficiency in governance, and better quality of life. One of the facts is in the top 10 richest nations in terms of per capita income, 9 out of 10 belongs to small nation. So it shows that small nation converts to better governance and higher quality of life. So the problem is, being as a large country, how can we get the benefits of a small country and also as a large country? Here comes the federalism. Federalism solves the problem. So the functions where it requires huge coordination, huge economies of scale like defense, mega infrastructure project, or uniform market, exactly mentioned as GST, this is a large country's benefit. On the smaller end, it should be handled by central government. And state government should handle the functions or the sectors where it requires the local preference which suits the culture of the population and geographic and economic conditions of that. So I think, I don't know, but the opponent team understood wrong or not. Federalism is never about against center. We need a strong center, and at the same time we need a strong state. That's, I think, what federalism talks about. Yeah, but even though we are a quasi-federal state, India is still centralized in terms of, we have yet to be fully centralized or fully get the benefits of federalism. I will tell you a data set. So, state controls nearly 60%, collects 60% of tax revenue, but yet it spends only 40% of public spending. Whereas, center. But the state spends nearly 60% of tax revenue. It's a paradoxical, right? Then another good example is 2015 there was a World Bank research on based on how federalism leads to better governance. Do you know what? India is the least federalized state, but we are federal in polity terms. How it's so? Because in local government we spend only 3% on public spending, whereas China, it's supposed to be unitary state, it spends nearly 51%. So like even I just found out, wow. And even USA spends 27% through local government. And so my friends are talking about in a more polished way. The only problem which I am going to address is, if there is a problem, whether in sanitation or road works in my area, I don't want to write a letter to my MP or PM or whoever is in Delhi saying that so and so I have a problem in my locality. I need my ward councillor to be accountable, who are more accessible to me. That's what federalism I think. And so other major example or some really good anecdote is, you have heard of former Prime Minister of Singapore, Lee Kuan. He came to India in order to give some recommendation how to make Mumbai a global financial center. So you know what? He just gave this one recommendation to the government. He says, give greater autonomy, grant greater autonomy and financial resources to Mumbai. He literally said that. And another beauty of being a federalism is, federalism leads to a laboratory of innovation and experimentation. If there is a policy which has become a failure or success in the state, we can learn from the experience and we can adopt it nationwide. Like so, we can localize the risk and apply the success rate across the nation. For example, we have in Tamil Nadu we have a midday meal scheme, which has been really good, which has been really successful because it able to increase the enrollment, It has been able to increase the retention of the students. So this policy has been adopted all over the nation right now. And another good example is Arogya scheme, which has been adopted in Karnataka in 2018, where it's national health policy coverage. So due to that, what the study shows is that they were able to reduce the mortality of population belonging to below poverty line up to 60%, and they were able to reduce out-of-pocket expenditure nearly to 64%. So based on this, it inspired Ayushman Bharat scheme to central government. So in order to government to be federalism to be more optimal, we need more devolution of funds. Without a proper federalism, without proper fiscal autonomy, states still dependent on financial resources on center, and the promise of federalism is still unrealized. So I believe that federalism is a constitutional mechanism which converts the abstract democracy into a tangible reality. Thank you.
Thank you for emphasizing financial autonomy. And now I call upon Aravind from Team B to support centralization.
Good afternoon, honorable judges, dignitaries, Madam Moderator, and my fellow debater, my sisters and brothers here. Ours is not an ordinary country. It is a living civilization of 1.4 billion, speaking different languages, practicing different faiths, and aspiring for one common destiny. History reminds us one thing. India was invaded when it was fragmented, and it rose back when it was centralized. Our constitution makers, led by visionaries like Dr. Ambedkar and Sardar Patel, understood this complexity and therefore gave us a system where the center has greater powers than the states. Why? Because they knew unity without authority is just an illusion. Greater state autonomy in financial matters could encourage regionalism over nationalism, because India's federalism is designed to protect against secessionist tendencies. When it comes to national security and internal stability, threats like Naxalism, Northeast insurgency, and cross-border terrorism cannot be left to states alone, right? So, centralization ensures redistribution of resources from richer to poorer states through financial commissions. Say we have a family, right? A mom and dad with maybe like 4 or 5 kids. The elder kid is earning a lot, assume. So just because the elder kid is earning a lot, we can't just, the parent can't treat the elder kid in a better way, and the parent can't discriminate the younger child who's not earning as much. So it's all about equality. So if the states had complete autonomy, wealthier states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Gujarat might refuse to share their resources, thus deepening inequality. So some states have a history of corruption, populist policies and financial mismanagement. Without central oversight, this can harm both state and national economy. For example, frequent farm law waivers and freebie politics in some states undermine fiscal discipline. So state may have conflicting interests, but strong centers ensures cohesive and coordinated policies. So my friend here was talking about the street that is not so clean and approaching councillor or local people. It's not, the question is about greater governance and financial control and not about approaching the councillor, right? So to keep in mind, one thing here is our country, it's about a strong center. Being a strong center is not about weakening the states. It's about ensuring every state moves forward together. See, a river flows when its streams join together. India's unity demands a strong center binding its states. So, given all that, I would just want to say that we'll uphold the heartbeat of India, unity in diversity. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, all the participants from Team A and Team B. We would discuss with the jury members who are present here, Mr. V.K. Ganesh sir, Arun Kumar sir, Raj Kumar sir and Karthikeyan sir. We will be discussing, and then along with the panel discussion happening after the debate. We will provide you the judgment after the for and against session, which is going to happen after this. So after the for and against, we will be discussing and then we'll announce the winners. Thank you. You all did well. Thank you so much. We are all proud of you. Thank you. I would like to call upon our Polity faculty, Mr. Rajkumar sir, to announce the judgment of the debate session. Since he is a Polity faculty, we are expecting judgment from Rajkumar sir. And the jury members have selected the winners. We will announce the winners after the judgment. Okay?
So with utmost respect, I acknowledge the gracious presence of our Honorable Justice Poglendi sir and the other the guests of this event, my fellow faculties and the students. So before I start, I have to correct one thing. Ma'am said that I am going to give a judgment, right? So with the learned judge before me, so that would be too much a word. So I can say that I can conclude rather than I judge. So I would like to say that I can conclude the debate because I'm a faculty, right? So your students, you made your arguments, but to conclude the debate, whether there should be more free centralized. The question is what? Federalism or centralization? Should states be given more control over the resources and the governance? So with respect to resource sharing and resource usage, and with respect to governing the country, there should be centralization in this country or federalism in this country. If this is the question, so you guys made for argument and against argument, and we faculties, we five of faculties, we judged on the basis of the content and relevance, the eloquence, the body language, and these likes. So we marked you on these bases, and you will be awarded on these bases. If you are awarded, so if one side is awarded, say for instance federalism or centralization, which side is awarded, take it as a reward for the arguments that you have made and the content, body language, etc., etc. But the conclusion, that's a different story that the institute is going to announce it to you. Ma'am will be announcing it. But I conclude the debate because I'm a faculty. You spoke on a subject matter. So maybe some students sitting here, you would have already completed federalism chapter. Some are yet to come and read the chapter. So I would conclude, look at this one. Indian Constitution, the Constitution makers didn't create either a pure federalism or we created neither a complete unitary system. Ours is a federal system with striking unitary features. That is the conclusion. So we Indians are always unique kind of a people. Ukraine, Russia, we say both. Israel or Palestine, we say both. West or global south, we say both. India is the only country in the world, a major country in the world right now, a country that can speak to Ukraine. Ukraine can legitimately believe in India, and at the same time Russia also would believe in India. So that is the only country in the world which has this kind of a privilege right now. So we are always a people like that. When we created Indian Constitution, when the Constitution makers wrote the Constitution, they didn't create a pure federalism, they didn't create a complete centralized system also. Rather we went in a balanced manner. So the federalism, when Indian Constitution makers wrote the chapter on center-state relations and federalism, all the available federal systems that was available in the world, they ransacked every constitution and then wrote ours, and that is the only chapter, the only part and only chapter where the constitution makers went in more detail. The 7 scheduled division of power between center and the states, none of the world countries, so that at that point of a time, the federalism was discussed in that detail. So Indian constitution makers went in that elaborate manner. Particularly center-state financial relations is the most complexly written chapter in Indian constitution. So there is, if I say federalism, then it is wrong, because India is a highly unevenly developed country. 2400 years back, Aristotle, when he wrote in a democratic country why a revolution happens in a democratic country, he warned that uneven development in a democratic country would lead to revolution. That we have to keep in our mind. Some states are performing very well in India. If you give more federal autonomy for the states to generate resource and keep the resource that they have, then we cannot share it to the states which which are very poor, which are very backward. Northeastern states, if China comes for a war, Northeastern states are going to be the frontline defending force for the whole India. Right? And when Operation Sindoor, after that the conflict happened, the Punjabi farmers in the border and the Rajasthani farmers in the border, they faced the heavy shells, artillery shells from the Pakistan. So it is not a question that if a state generates the fund, it has to keep it with yourself. Means there are some states which are far away from the oceans, far away from the ports. Hilly states are there, but those states are also very important. So India, order nature, the society is federal, therefore the country will be federal, but national interests ought to be paramount. So there will be central governments, higher powers. Then central government alone can go for an even development in this country. We have pathetically unevenly developed India we had in this last 75 years, which the government genuinely trying from the beginning, but it has to go. We have colonial looting, all these experiences are there, and we are marching out of that. So it takes some more years for us to reach an evenly developed India. We are moving towards that. We had Bimaru states and all, but we are now moving towards the growth. Now Uttar Pradesh is performing very well, a backward state. Bihar is doing better. So these states has to come up. So central government has an added responsibility that Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, we all do very well economically, but we have a responsibility to share our resources to the backward states, and that is how the system should be. An Indian constitution is perfectly a tailor-made system to reflect this reality. So conclusion of the neither federalism nor centralization. If any team win, you are going to get a cash reward. For centralization or federalism, I do not know which team, but don't take that federalism as one or centralization as one. Okay, so go as per constitution, golden mean. Okay, so we took the path, not extreme path, we took the path of golden mean. Mean is the golden rule. Okay, thank you all. To speak before it's a privilege as well as a responsibility. So but anyway, so I escaped by saying that by claiming that I'm a faculty, not a judge, not someone who judge this debate. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. So that we also flex our faculty resources in front of you. எங்ககிட்டயும் இந்த மாதிரி ஆர்குமெண்ட்ஸ் பேசுறதுக்கு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் டீச்சர்ஸ் இருக்காங்கன்னு உங்க முன்னாடி நாங்கள் ஃப்ளெக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கிட்டோம். தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் த ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி சார். அண்ட் ஆஸ் வி ஆல்வேஸ் சே, கிளாஸில் எல்லாரும் சொல்கிறது தான், ஃபெடரலிசமா சென்ட்ரலைசேஷனான்னு கேட்கும்போது அப்பார்ட்மெண்ட் மாதிரி நம்ம எல்லாரும் ஒரே ஃபினான்ஷியல் ஸ்டேட்டஸில் இருந்தோம்னா ஆளாளுக்கு ஒரு தனி டோர் நம்பர், அவங்கவுங்களோட சம்பாத்தியத்தில் அவங்கவுங்க என்ன வேணால் பண்ணலாம். அது அப்பார்ட்மெண்ட். இந்தியா இன்னும் அந்த அளவுக்கு வரல. ஸோ நம்ம இப்போதைக்கு ஜாயிண்ட் ஃபேமிலியாக தான் இருக்கோம். எப்படி கூட்டு குடும்பத்தில் ஒருத்தர் முன்ன பின்ன சம்பாதிச்சாலும் மற்றவங்க சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுவாங்களோ அதே மாதிரி இப்போதைக்கு இந்தியா டிபேட்டில் சென்ட்ரலைசேஷனை ஃபேவர் பண்ணியிருக்கு. ஸோ த வின்னர் டீம் இஸ் டீம் பி who favored centralization, and we call upon our justice Pugarendi sir and our MD ma'am to felicitate the winning team as well as the other teams as well. So the winning team, Shruti, Aditya and Arvind are going to get cash prize of, any guess? You know all, right? Analu participate pannala. 45,000 rupees to all the three students. We are very proud of all the candidates who participated because we're all going to talk in the mock interview as well as in the interview panel. So it is just like your mock interview. This trailer da kanna innu konja naal kalichu Delhi la UPSC panel you are going to be there. So we wish you all that. So this is just a competition. So we like to inform that our team B is the winner team, centralization team. 45,000 cash rupees cash prize is given to Aditya. Congratulations. Aditya is receiving 15,000 cash prize and a certificate. And then Shruti from team B receiving rupees 15,000 and a certificate. And then Arvind from team B is winning 15,000 and a certificate. And now the runner-up team, they do not ask federalism. நம்மக்கிட்ட நிறைய பாயிண்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு ஆனாலும் இந்தியா இப்போதைக்கு ஃபெடரலிசம் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணல but still you all did well. We are all really happy that you people are having this kind of points and we were surprised to know that you people know this much. So we are inviting the runner-up team, team A supported federalism, Pavitra, Srinath and Vishwak. They are receiving cash prize of 15,000 rupees. Pavitra is receiving 5,000 rupees and a certificate. And then Srinath receiving 5,000 and a certificate. And then Vishwak receiving 5,000 rupees and a certificate. Thank you so much and congratulations winner. And we have a surprise since it is a Teachers' Day. To be fair as per due process of law, fair and just, right? So amongst all the performance, we would like to give one special jury award for best performer. Any guess? Any guess? In debate session. Pavitra, right? So we all felt. So MD ma'am accepted to give a surprise prize for her, 5,000 cash prize for the best performer of today in debate session. She scored highest marks from all the jury members. So congratulations, Pavitra. So she is receiving extra 5,000 cash prize for being a best performer. Thank you. Congratulations.